Enable notifications by ringing the bell.
Hopefully Mad Cat's going to be the heel in this one. Devil's advocate.
Say what?
I thought you guys were going to go to my hero.
Oh, no. Not yet. We'll do this one, and then we will...
Okay.
Then we'll...
I have a question.
Sure.
After this one, would it bother you if I did a stream?
Go ahead.
Okay. What time do you need me to be done?
As long as I can... As long as... I don't know. As long as you're done by, like, just after, like... I'd say at least by 1 o'clock. I'll be okay. Do you plan on streaming till about 5 in the morning?
No, 1's fine.
Okay.
1's a good... That'll make me go to bed, too.
Because I need to at least have the game trailers edited and posted by tomorrow.
Okay.
The rest of them I can work on. When I get back from Tazewell tomorrow.
Well, do you need to be done sooner than 1?
No, I can, as long as I have because I still have enough up to where I don't have to worry until I'd say Saturday.
Okay. All right, because I figured since no one does, and I normally leave so you guys can be down here, I was like, well, that'd be a good time for me to go up there and play some extra. Because you guys do things I don't watch.
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna... I want to watch this one, yeah.
Okay. Ow.
Goodness.
Oh, I didn't like...
Oh, wow. That one caught me. Wow.
Oh.
That one resonated good.
Hi.
We're not.
Okay.
So we watched Avengers Infinity War.
What?
I know, right?
What movie?
I know, right?
Did that come out?
Yes, it did.
Oh, maybe we should go... I don't know if I want to see that.
That's fair enough. Heather's in denial. Heather's a river in Egypt right now. So I will say this. That film did good with its pacing, did good with its characters. I mean, I didn't feel overwhelmed, albeit at the end of the film, like, so much happened. By the way, if you have not seen this film, do not watch this video.
Yeah, why are you watching it?
Why are you here?
Actually, no, we'll just wait, and once we start the reaction, we'll tell them over the reaction, because they're going to be like, why didn't you warn us? And it's like, because you don't watch the beginning of the reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll have to tell them again.
Why would you watch it anyway? It doesn't make any sense unless
they don't
you
watch
just
the
like...
beginning, and then they make a point in the comments, like, wow, Getha didn't think about blank, and we had talked about blank.
Well,
it
but
was
if it's
just at the beginning.
it's a film theory about the Avengers movie...
And it
includes
spoilers.
Like, yeah, it says, like, I mean...
They just... Some
people just don't understand.
They don't, like, read the title. They're just like, hey, that looks interesting.
Click.
And, yeah.
So they just click on random stuff?
We're just watching out for them.
Well, yeah. And, actually, I had someone comment...
Are they just self-sabotaging weirdos that do it on purpose just to have something to yell at us about?
Yeah, I guess
I mean, that seems so weird to me.
No, here's... speaking on that, this happened yesterday.
Oh, God.
I looked at a comment... on it was one of our like older reactions. I forget which one exactly, but a guy pops in and writes a comment. It's just like, "Why the f is this in my feed? Well, you guys need to get a life and all this and all that, blah blah blah."
I got one of those yesterday too.
Stop! It's like, stop stealing other people's content, blah 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 blah, and all this and all that. And I'm just like, okay, first off, you had to go out of your way to come in here and write this angry comment. You could have just passed our video by, but instead, no. You see it in your feed, you click it, and decide to not even watch the video, and you come down and you write a nasty comment. Congratulations. You just gave us free money, and you gave us another click. Enjoy having us in your feed for the next day or so. By the way, the channel that you're in question saying that we're stealing from supports us 100%. So, I don't know what else to say.
I wonder if it was the same guy, but I got one that was very similar, except for he threw in that my channel was 50% donkey reactions, and I'm thinking, every request I get is for a donkey video. If you're going to ask me for donkey videos, you're going to get donkey videos. I love donkey. Why not? Like, I throw in other stuff too, but I get almost exclusively requests for donkey videos, so. What happened?
Some guy wrote a comment.
Oh, no.
And it says, you guys should stop. Actually, somebody liked my comment that I made back at him. You guys should stop this because reaction channels are one of the worst kinds of channels. And I said, no, that's just your opinion. not a fact.
Gosh, it's a good thing that we do other things besides reactions,
Oh, yeah.
like Nerf Wars,
Oh, yeah.
vlogs, Magic streams, video game streams.
Well, honestly,
and
if
we're
you're-
talking about more original content Heather hasn't seen. I don't know. It seems like we do other things.
Well, yeah. Well, honestly, people are always going to find a reason to complain about something because this is the complaining generation where nobody wants to just shut up and enjoy things. Instead, no, I got to find a reason to complain and bitch about something because my life is so empty and vacuous, even though it's not. Jackasses.
So, Nate, I'm not angry. I'm not offended. I'm just asking out of curiosity. I'm from a different. I don't know that I'm a different generation, but definitely a different time period and thought period.
Yeah.
Do you find that I'm overbearing or annoying about things like that?
Not really, no. I find that you...
Am I somewhere in the middle, I think?
Well, I find you have criticisms that honestly you just need another
if you educate
perspective
me, I'll
on.
shut up.
No, I'm not. Okay, your words, not mine. I'm just saying, it's just like me. Whenever I'm uneducated about something and somebody drops a factoid on me that I'm not sure about, and I actually read up on it and I see that it's true. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like you always say: show me the evidence and show me the facts, and I'll shut up. Yeah,
because
I used to be the same way.
You can argue me all day with facts, and I'm gonna respect it. But if you just start throwing opinions at me, sorry, buddy, I believe in mine strongly, so good luck.
Good luck, yeah.
But where I'm 22 and Nate is, I don't want to say your
almost
age,
30.
but we have a big enough gap where sometimes it does come that I don't know about something, and he tells me, and I go look it up, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, never mind. And, I mean,
it happens.
It's fine. I don't claim to know everything.
I don't either. I mean,
but I have strong opinions. You can change them with facts, though.
Like, people tell me I'm knowledgeable, but my knowledge only stretches so far. I mean, everyone's does. I mean, there's things I'm in the dark about, and if I'm uneducated about it, I'll ask questions.
I'm always really happy when I teach Nate something, because I feel like he knows so much compared to me. So anytime I say something, and he's like, really? And he looks it up, he's like, yeah. I go, yes, in my head.
Well, all right, I guess.
Because I haven't seen anything. So.
All right. So we watched Avengers Infinity War. I liked it a lot. And there was something that happened at the end that we actually did a review for. And people...
Stop making people go click that video. It has so many views and I can't stand it.
What?
That video has like over 20,000 views and I'm crying the whole time.
Oh, God. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
I mean... Oh, this is actually a good time to address something. You guys keep saying that Marvel didn't lie to me. When I made that statement, it was not about Infinity War. Just saying. They didn't lie to me about Infinity War. I know this. That's not what I was talking about.
Ah, boy.
That's all I wanted to say, because I can't get them to understand that I was not crying about that.
God. All right. Well, this is a film theory that came out, I believe, right? Yeah, it was after Avengers Infinity War. And it's a film theory that says Thanos was right.
I saw this in my recommended.
So, I guess we're going to see what theory Matt Pat puts forward. And here we go.
Wait, this is Matt Pat?
Warning! Spoilers for Infinity War incoming.
Hey, spoilers! Spoilers.
That's terrifying.
Love it.
Look at all the YouTube channels just starving for clicks. Too many channels to watch them all. But to snuff them all out at once, instantly, that is a mercy. With a snap of my fingers, half of all YouTube channels will disappear.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Guys?
Yeah?
Why is it so dark in here?
I don't know. Did you pay the power bill?
Yeah, I paid it. I mean,
Could have been the thunderstorms we had earlier.
Oh, that's right.
The lights were flickering a minute ago.
Wonder about that.
I don't feel so good.
Heather, don't start. Oh, wait. I know. Hold on. Clap on. Hey, there we go. We're back. Hey, wonder how that happened. What were we doing again?
I thought something happened to us there for a second.
I know. Whew,
Felt
weird.
like we were almost trapped inside the Soul Stone.
Dun, dun.
Damn, you had to ruin it there. Okay, funny enough. Fine.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This we're back doing Thanos was right.
Sorry.
Film theory.
Attentively and watch us. What's going on? Oh no! They all have second channels.
This is true. It's true. Like we have a backup channel. It's just not as active.
Yeah, we do actually.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, where, let's be honest here for a second, a top YouTube channel getting dusted overnight is probably the single best way to get people reinterested when they were just starting to get bored of the YouTuber. You know what wasn't boring, though? Infinity War. I gotta be honest, it was so much better than I expected. It was such a well-balanced movie. The perfect
It
mix
was.
of action, humor, and drama. All that, and they crammed 60 characters in without making it feel rushed or bloated.
Yep.
It was so
Oh.
good, it had to
They
have
did
had
do a good job.
Superman wedding his tidy whities, or tidy reddies, I
Oh.
suppose. But perhaps most impressive of all was Thanos, easily one of Marvel's best villains, nay, best characters. For being this big,
Wow.
mad titan, he was surprisingly relatable and sympathetic. Well,
Yeah.
as much as he can be sympathetic and relatable for someone looking to wipe out half the population of the galaxy. If you're still with us but haven't seen the movie yet because all the theaters are still sold out, let me catch you up. Thanos, the giant purple, pink.
Purple.
Fine, Thanos the Rainbow Titan.
He's
watched
purple.
as his planet became overpopulated.
It's just
Started running
Titan's
out of
atmosphere
resources.
makes him look
Only
pink.
suggested a random
It's bright
color
orange.
about his planet's population. The other Titans found this suggestion kind of mean.
Rick?
So they ignored it. Eventually, the planet
Rick
hit
from
time
friggin'
to
Pawn
lose and
Stars?
destroyed itself
Why?
in the process, leaving Thanos with the universe's biggest case of I told you so. So to prevent other planets from experiencing the same fate, Big
Oh,
Papa
God.
Thanos made it his life's work.
I saw a
to
spoiler there
randomly
for a show
eliminate
we're
half the
watching.
life of the universe. He mentions that he's done it once before on Gamora's home planet of Zen, and that it worked out pretty well. Since I
That
don't
backstory
have
was
the
real
clip
good.
from the movie, since it's still in theaters to prove it, here's a dramatic recreation of that scene.
I was a child when you took me.
I saved.
Thanos.
I saved you.
Sounds like the Grinch.
I've been smoking a lot lately, okay? I saved.
Yeah, it's fun.
What? What's wrong with my Thanos? What do you want my Thanos? Here. Do you want me to be Gamora and you be Thanos? Here, let's do it that way then. I was a child when you took me.
I saved you.
No. We were happy on my home planet.
God
Going
dang
to
it.
bed hungry, scrounging for scraps. Your planet was on the brink of
This is
collapse.
amazing.
I was the one who stopped that. You know what's happened since then? The children born know nothing but full bellies and clear skies. It's a paradise.
Because you murdered half the planet.
A small price to pay for salvation.
You're
This is accurate.
insane! And Earth is next on his hit list. At the end of Infinity War, we actually see Thanos succeed. Though, of course, that
You
random
should have aimed for the
cross
head.
so happens to specifically target those characters whose contracts aren't about to expire. But you know what? We're gonna give Thanos the benefit of the doubt here and assume that he isn't secretly working for some dark secret overlord. But here's the thing. For as absolutely insane as Thanos' plan sounds, and for as much as we as an audience don't believe what he's saying about the state of Gamora's homeworld, if you stop and look at the economics, statistics, and historical precedents, Thanos may actually be right. You heard
Okay,
that
I
correctly.
know this
You run
theory.
the
I've
numbers,
seen it
it
presented
turns out
before.
I had this
Thanos
thought
the
when we were
Mad
watching
Titan
the movie.
may not be as bad as you might think.
Good.
First, let's talk population growth, since that's the underlying driver of all the economics here. There are two main population growth models that exist today: the exponential growth model and the logistic growth model. The exponential model basically says that as the population grows, the rate at which it grows will continue to increase and get faster,
Oh, yeah.
basically doubling every generation.
That's what they're saying we're on right
It
now.
makes
We're on
sense,
an
right? If I
exponential
have
growth.
2 kids and each one of those 2 kids have 2 kids, now there's 4. Those 4 kids each themselves have 2 kids, and now there's 8. Each generation population doubles. Or in science class, how you learned that one bacteria dividing every 20 minutes could produce 5,000 billion bacteria in just one day. Then you leave class and you never touch a doorknob again. But you can see that for humans, this doesn't really work. We all have different numbers of kids, or no kids, or we live in a place in the world where it's illegal to have more than one kid. As a result,
China.
there's the logistic population model.
So is that
where
per woman
population
or
growth
per
begins
couple?
slowing at a certain point,
So, like, if
reaching
you got
some
two
type
different
of upper
husbands.
limit called the carrying capacity.
It's pretty
Usually,
much.
this
It's
is
pretty
the
much.
result of environmental
You're not allowed
factors.
to
In the
have
case of
more than one
bacteria, it
child
might be the
per
walls of a
woman,
petri dish. You just
and
run
also
out of
not
room.
only
And
that,
for a lot
but
of
you're not allowed
demographers,
to.
the people who study
Oh
human
god.
populations, they
You're not
believe
allowed.
we have a
If
carrying
it's a
capacity
girl,
too,
if they find out it's a
specifically
girl,
around 11
the
to
government
12
can
billion
officially kill
people.
it.
Now that sounds like
Wait,
it's a
still?
lot, but remember, we're at 7.3 billion people right now. So
10.6.
we're actually not that far away. The idea that we would slowly approach the carrying capacity of Earth was first posited by 18th century demographer Thomas Malthus. If you want to learn more about Malthus and the philosophy of Thanos, watch the musical Urinetown. Anyone? Anyone? No? No one's interested in a delightful musical romp through a world where you have to pay to pee? Fine! Then watch the Wisecrack channel, who did an excellent video on that very topic that you can watch right here after the theory's over. Don't worry, I'll link to it during the end screen so you won't forget to watch it. The TLDR of Malthus's theory, or Malthusianism, is that, quote, the power of population is indefinitely greater than the power in the earth to produce subsistence for man. Or, as Thanos put it,
It's simple calculus. This universe has finite
Calculus.
resources. Finite. If life is left unchecked, life will cease to exist. It needs correcting.
But Thanos factored in something that Malthus didn't, and that is carrying capacity. With humans, our carrying capacity of 11 to 12 billion comes less from the restrictions of the environment and more from our own economic behavior. The global birth rate has been dropping since the UN started keeping track of it back in the 1950s, falling from 37.2 births per thousand people in 1950 to 1955 to 19.4 births per thousand people
Families
as
are smaller
recently as
now.
2010 to 2015.
Well, yeah, it's
That
true.
is a huge difference, and you
It's
can't
pretty much
blame
cut in
declining
half.
resources for it, since over the same period, the gross world product increased over 19 times, from about 4 trillion to about 77 trillion. So what's the problem here? Well, it's infant mortality, or should I say lack thereof. It may seem strange that more babies living would actually cause a population to decrease, but here's the thing. Your great-great-grandparents lived in a much rougher world than we do. They lived
Far
in a
rougher.
time where, unfortunately, it was just very unusual for all your children to live into maturity. Each child that did live, however, could help you work your land or manage your home when it was unlikely that you could afford to hire much labor on your own. You could also marry your children off for dowries or political capital. And because of all of this, it was socially advantageous to have as many children as possible. However,
Yep.
nowadays there are just far fewer economic advantages to having kids, which is admittedly
none.
a terrific thing for me to be saying when my wife is pregnant. But seriously,
Hey,
it's true.
congrats.
There aren't dowries anymore. If anything, your child is likely to cost you money on the wedding and the education, and while they live in your basement looking for a job. And speaking of that, time is another key factor here, as the amount of time that we spend raising each child has historically trended upwards.
We're living a lot longer.
Didn't show up to your Pony League jousting tournament because he was too busy fighting the Crusades or whipping the serfdom into shape, literally and figuratively. Well, that was just expected. But if your modern day father here in 2018 misses just one Little League baseball game because of his work, you're gonna get yourself a Lifetime Movie of the Week. He was so neglected as a child. We can actually
It's
see
true.
this playing out in the world
It's
today,
true.
where many of the most economically developed countries
I
and
like that
populations
joke.
are
Spoiled
stalling.
brats.
Japan had record low numbers of children at just
Oh,
around
yeah.
15
Their
million
population's
this year.
decreasing,
And in Europe,
actually.
The average couple only has 1.6 children. That's not even enough to replace
Oh, that's
the
just-
existing generation.
why would they only have
Collectively,
1.6
this means
children?
The human population
I know,
is no
I know,
longer
I know.
growing
It's just- I'm trying-
exponentially like many of the fear-mongering news outlets proclaim. In fact, since 1960, we've had absolutely
3D printer
zero
shut off
exponential
a
growth
six-
whatsoever. We've had an absolutely linear growth, and this is the crux of Thanos' plan. You see, if the human population were still growing exponentially, well then Thanos' plan would have only set the world's population
Yeah.
back by a single generation, or about 25 years. But because our birth rate is dropping and our population growth is linear, it's a good indicator that we've moved past the midpoint of this logistic curve, known as the point of maximum growth. What that means is that humanity is done growing at this accelerated rate, and instead we're moving towards a flat, no growth population population. In short, it doesn't really matter how many people live on Earth as long as we're able to sustain our current lifestyle. So if you cut the population in half at this period in time, you effectively also cut the maximum population in half, meaning that Thanos' plan would actually have a permanent impact. So for a guy who looks like a linebacker who's taken one too many hits to the face, he's actually really thought this out. On top of all this, in Thanos' model, the scientific and cultural advances that have been made aren't removed from the world, and so the world, in theory, continues forward at about the same rate of advancement, just with a carrying capacity of 6 billion instead of about 11 billion. 6 billion, by the way, fewer people than we have on Earth today. Honestly, even though I was researching this, I couldn't believe it. I was a bit skeptical, so I kept digging. You see, Thanos employs basic laws of supply and demand to say that when half the demand is removed, by removing half the population, prices should plummet. This seemed to me like it was a bit of an oversimplification, but believe it or not, historical evidence supports Thanos in this too. Now, there's obviously no real-world example where half the population literally disappeared in a snap, but we do have a very well-documented situation where about a third of Europe died in a matter
The
of
Black
a few
Plague.
years. The Black Death. There are some very interesting things that happened to the European economy as a result of the Black Death that weirdly made some European lives better. And I can already hear the vitriol in the comments. Let me make it clear, no one here is saying, yay, Black Death, woo, what a great idea. This is all in the name of social science and Marvel movies. This economic history article on the Black Death notes that the general wages rose by 40% in the years following the Black Death, while at the same time, rents for property actually plummeted, since there were fewer people to occupy houses or work land. This meant that the demand for houses fell, and as a result of falling demand, the price of homes followed suit. Since people needed to farm less land to feed fewer people, land that was once needed for crops before was suddenly diversified into ranching, increasing the supply of manure and meat, which in turn increased the output of the land that existed and even further drove down food costs. Food prices dropped about 15% on the whole in the years immediately after the plague. So lower food costs, lower housing costs, and higher wages. The people that were left kinda benefited from all of that death. Thanos in his twisted brain could conceivably call that a paradise, where those who remained thrived. Who knows? Maybe in this situation a millennial would actually be able to afford a house. So are we looking at a potentially real victory here under Thanos' rule? Well, it's kinda hard to know for sure, because when it comes to economics, there are all sorts of dominoes knocked down the line that can cause a massive amount of blowback. With a huge global crisis like Thanos' snap and falling prices, it changes the picture for a lot of these same issues. For instance, with the costs of having a kid much lower and a huge depopulation of Earth, people would likely feel a pressure to have more kids than they currently do, potentially pushing the carrying capacity higher than where it currently is as we jumpstart our growth rates again. China, now less concerned with overpopulation, would start to loosen their population control laws, as well as many of the other environmental laws that may be helping to slow the effects of things like global warming today. And the rest of the world would probably follow suit. Also, interestingly enough, Earth would most likely close off its doors. Its atmosphere. Spaceport things. Basically, it wouldn't let other aliens in, because, you know, the first few aliens to make it to Earth all tried to kill us. That sort of xenophobia would likely set Earth back in terms of becoming culturally integrated into the rest of the galaxy. Too bad you can't build a wall around an entire planet. Actually, I think you can. It's called a force field. Economic solutions aren't a snap.
Also a Dyson sphere, right?
The fun thing about this episode is that it was a fun thought experiment. It doesn't matter. It was simply a test of math and statistics. But at the end of the day, human life is priceless. Killing off half a population is never a solution. Plus, let's all face it, there's no denying that Thanos is definitively a mad titan, because guess what? There is an easy solution here. You just snap your fingers and double everything. Or why stop there? You make it infinite. Seriously, Thanos, you have yourself a gauntlet of unstoppable power. Think outside the box. But hey, that's just a theory. A
Gauntlet
film
Legends.
theory. And remember that wisecrack video I mentioned midway through the episode? Boom! there it is on screen. I love the guys over at Wisecrack, and if you enjoy these sorts of pop culture thought experiments, well then you're gonna love their channel. This is their assessment of the philosophy of Thanos, which is insanely interesting. So honestly, do yourselves a favor. If you enjoyed this video, which obviously you did, you made it to the very end of it, click the button you see on screen right now, give it a watch, learn something new, and tell them that MatPat sent ya. Give the video a watch. If you enjoy it, give them a subscribe. They're one of the most deserving channels on YouTube, producing some of the smartest content out there at a time when honestly the algorithm makes it really hard to do smart educational content. So show them some love, and that's about it. In case you missed it, here's my prediction theory on Deadpool, which we'll see if it comes true in the next couple days, and I will see you all next Tuesday.
Okay, he didn't do it, so I'll do it for him. And cut. Okay. So there's been a lot of counter arguments to the theory that, getting rid of half the population would help stabilize the world. Especially given the plane of birth that we have now, the linear birth rate instead of the exponential. And honestly, it pans out to be true because there's been examples where, given how our birth rate's going, I mean, we are still growing, but it may very well plane off by the time we hit 10 billion, between 10 to 12 billion. Who knows? I mean, because average lifespans are going nowhere but up. And the human condition, I mean, there's going to be a time where eventually there will only be so long that we can live, so long that we can sustain ourselves. Who says a long time ago, 50 was considered, a ripe old age. And now 70 or 80 is considered par for the course. Whereas nowadays, if you reach 100, if you reach the century mark, it's just hey, you did good, man. Mm-hmm. And now we have people living into 100 and they're 100 and teens, and also I believe, how old was the oldest person ever? I want to look.
There was a 120-year-old guy I saw an article about a couple weeks ago.
I had a realization that at the point our science is at, hypothetically, as your body gives out, we can almost replace it. Almost. Not all of it. But, for example, we can already do joint replacements.
Well, yeah, but those still aren't ideal compared to taking care of your...
Don't we have the science to just grow a heart? Is that what it is?
They've 3D printed heart valves, I know of.
Well, I'm talking full-on...
you're talking biological reproduction, biological
there was some organ they did.
But, well, I've heard that as well. They can grow a heart, grow a perfect heart.
A heart or a liver or something. I don't know.
I've heard about that.
I don't.
However,
know which one.
I'm not sure 100% sure that is legit. I know that there was an experiment done where they actually grew an animal inside of a bag. It was like a little goat. Mm-hmm. They grew a baby goat in this plastic bag. It had amniotic fluid in it, and they kept it at the right temperature. They had a tube ran into it to where it would act as its umbilical, and it was a completely manufactured, creature.
So you're talking about growing a body and then taking our brain and reattaching it to a new younger body?
You mean consciousness transfer?
Well, I don't know that you could transfer consciousness so much as just stick the brain in a new body and reconnect all the nerves.
You could, if my heart was bad,
yep.
you could replace my heart.
Well, yeah, they could.
If you could replace my joints, and you could really, really prolong your life until literally something happened to you, or you had some sort of illness they can't replace.
Eventually your DNA code starts to break down once you get past a certain age. You see, they call it,
unless you're a lobster.
Well, yeah, unless you're a lobster, in which that's the case. Well, anyway,
you just have all different organs than when you were born.
Well, yeah. Well, here's one thing I will say: the degeneration does take place, and eventually your body does start to wear down.
I'm just saying.
I forget what paradox they call that.
Significantly, but I know it wouldn't be infinite.
Well,
but if they ever get the robot body where you could put your brain in and just go on,
brain in a jar.
No.
Honest to God, why do you want to live forever? Why is that such a big influence on
Because
people?
because hubris, Heather. Hubris. People have the idea in their head that, we can live forever. We just haven't discovered how.
I just
It's
had
just
a moment of crisis where I realized I'm gonna die and I don't know what's gonna happen after. And okay, now I'm there.
Well, hubris. Heather.
We've met there.
Well, I have looked
You
it up.
guys could see it
The
happen on my
oldest
face.
person alive is a woman named Emma Morano, and she is from Italy. She is a former factory worker and a cook, and she is 118 years old.
Sounds exhausting.
Is that the oldest ever though?
No, oldest person ever. I think it was a Japanese man who lived.
120 something.
Yeah, let's see. Oldest person ever. There we are. Okay, oldest people. Here we go. Shows here that it was 10 verified oldest people ever. Oh, hell no. A woman named Jeanne Chalmette from France lived to be 122 years old.
Yikes. That's exhausting.
So
And here's what I'm seeing here. The top 10 of all time are all female. The top 10 of all time are all female.
Well, that makes
How do you
sense because
think that's longer?
women generally live longer than men.
Well, yeah, it's
statistically.
because of stress management. And it's because of
Also that,
because of lifestyle
stress
choices.
management.
well, they also have
Yeah.
two
What do you mean?
Women are more apt for emotional outbursts because of how
Oh, I thought you meant less stress.
No, because
I
of
was like,
biology.
Buddy, you got
No. Everyone goes through the same equivocal amount of stress. Sometimes
you handle
more
it.
people. Yeah, more. Yeah, it's all about how you handle it.
traumatic
And women
experiences and
women have been shown to handle stress better because they have a more
Outwards.
they have more outward
more likely to
outward.
seek help.
Well, exactly and especially because it's biological. Estrogen causes you to be more endearing and also more cautious. Now, a lot of people say, when I say the word neurotic, I don't mean like crazy. I mean neurotic as in you are constantly worrying about the bigger picture instead of forward progression, instead of immediate forward progression like most people.
So I've had the blood work because of where I have so many issues, and my estrogen level, while it is in the female range, is a little low, and I think that has something to do with why I'm so on edge all the time. But I was gonna take that somewhere. Where was it?
Also, women have two X chromosomes, so
Oh yeah,
they don't suffer typically from the same recessive conditions a lot of men do
This
at the
is
same
true.
rate.
This is true. Jeroemon Kimura is the oldest living man of all time, 116 years old. Followed by Christian Mortensen. He lived to be 115. He was from the United States.
Sounds exhausting.
Oh, it is. Actually,
What do
somebody
you do for that long?
Somebody asked me actually no, it was a picture that was posted on Facebook. Said, what is the manliest way to go out? What is the manliest way to die? And then somebody posted down below, struggle and live as long as you can whilst dealing with all of life's bullshit and absolutely dying at the oldest that you can. Think of it like a contest. The older you die, the more of a man you are. It's just women win. And women win all the time because women live longer than men.
At this point, I'm just living out of fucking spite. So
I will live out of spite, motherfucker.
God damn it, this world is giving me a rough hand, but you know
Oh.
what? I'm still here.
Shows here the oldest, okay, so there's currently one other person living. Her name is
There's only one other
Shio.
person living in the whole world.
No. There is one other person living who's currently another one of the oldest
Sorry,
people
Ben wasn't
living.
here. I had to do
Shio Miyako. She is currently 117 years old, and okay, turns out there are no more people alive that were born in the 1800s.
Oh, she would have been born in the 1800s.
No, she was born
Wait,
May
how
2nd,
old was she?
1901.
Oh, she was. I would thought we were talking about the 124-year-old.
She actually just turned 117.
Yeah. Okay.
Chio Miyako. There you go. God. So
Y'all want to live forever. What are you doing with all that time? Playing Stardew Valley? That's what I'm doing.
yeah, why not?
I'm gonna be like 80 years. No, I won't make it to 80. I'll be like 60 years old and playing Stardew Valley still.
Just don't go out like Hunter S. Thompson. It's just like I made it to 60 something. That's X amount of years more than I wanted. I'm just gonna kill myself.
Well,
I was about getting like a big old truck full of like grizzly bears and backing it up to the IRS building and just like
Turning them loose.
riding the grizzly bears into said IRS building and just,
Yeah.
that's how you want to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
be
I could
awesome.
actually see you with like a circus, with like a gigantic circus drop back van that's got like the ramp that
Like-
comes down like that. I could actually see you in there with like
This is gonna be a fan art.
10 to 20 grizzly bears, and they just go charging in, and you'll just be like Michelangelo, get the head of the IRS, and he'll just be like, whoa, and just like take off running down the hallways, and like he'll be looking around, and then everyone will just be like running from.
They would all have really dumb names because when I get to name things, it does not go well.
Like you'll have one named Patsy, and the one you'll be writing on is upset.
Upset.
You know why? Because you'll be pulling an upset. Actually, that's actually the origin of that. There was a horse named not War Admiral, but Man of War. It's considered the greatest racehorse of all time. Finished with a record of 20-1, and the one horse to beat him was named Upset. When they say pulling an upset, that's what that means.
Huh. Well, in going back to Stardew Valley, my chickens are named Ron, Becky, and Nugget.
Jesus.
I dig it.
Thanks, Ben.
Jesus. Oh God. All right. Well, we've rambled and we've ranted enough. This was Thanos Was Right by Film Theory. If you all are interested in more film theory, let us know in the comments down below. If you want to check out the original video, link is in the description as well, along with our Patreon and our Discord, so feel free to check that out. And, yeah, I guess until then, we will see you later. I'm Nate,
I'm Heather.
Micah.
and peace out, everybody.